Hey, Jimbo. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. So sorry. It's typical. It wouldn't be a normal day in my life if I didn't have some connection issues.
No worries. It's a Discord issue. Blame it on Discord. It's not your fault. It's always something
Yeah,
with
I just
Discord.
living in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I just blame it on the ocean.
Well, it's all right. We've just been kind of hanging out in here for a bit anyway. It's no big deal. Everybody who's in here, I'd like you guys to meet Jimbo. Jimbo is with Dot Find. Is that what you guys call it? Do you just call it Find or you call it Dot Find?
Well, that's actually a great question. So I think we started rolling kind of with dot find for the kind of that fun little add-in. It's marketed as dot find, but you can call it whatever you like. Find dot xyz dot find. I'm a big proponent in kind of starting everything off with dot find.
Okay, great. Well, like I said, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us here, and we had such a great time over at the Find Fest when you guys had us over there for our AMA. So we're glad we could reciprocate. Why don't you just start us off by just introducing yourself and kind of introducing what Dot Find is and what you guys do over there?
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, my name is Jimbo. I've been in the Flow ecosystem since September of 2020. One of the beta testers for NBA Top Shot. So that was really cool, kind of getting into it then. And then ever since then, I got my profile pictures from the OG project that I got involved in, which was the Party Goobers. It was a fun, super fun project just to kind of bring like, you know, just a lot of fun to Discord parties and stuff like that. So we had a blast doing that. And then I really got like, I don't know, interested and infatuated with the flow ecosystem of just how small it is and how niche it was. And just some of the people that I met were just like innovators and revolutionaries. And it was just super refreshing to be kind of surrounded by people with those visions of growth and intellectual property protection and accountability, all those awesome philosophies that I've been preaching for a while. So that's my little like Web3 journey. Had a blast and created a couple projects myself. Most recently, I've been heading Party Favors, which is just a pretty much just every month. And you guys were part of the Fine Fest. Every month, I've been doing a party for about 5 6 months. And so what I did was I started a project to just kind of gate the access to the giveaways. We noticed so many like multi accounts, like just sweeping up the giveaways. So to bring more fun to the party, I said, you know what we'll do is we'll just charge like $10, a little VIP entry pass. It's cool artwork from different artists, and yeah, so that kind of gates it. So I've been doing that recently. It's just Jimbo having fun, throwing parties, drinking wine, hella wine. Um, and then my relationship with Dot Find has been incredible since day one. They helped me launch one of the first projects I worked with, Blocks, and they've been just an advocate for improvement and innovation in the space. And Christian and Biarte became really good friends of mine. Bam, one of their developers. It's funny enough. This is going to drop the bomb here on Cody, but I officially don't work for Dot Find. It's actually hilarious because we're partners. The only reason I say it is it's ironic because I do work with Dot Find. I'm in all these meetings and stuff like that. But we joke internally that I'm the only member of the team that's not officially on payroll in a good way, not even in like a succubus way or anything like that. But that should even attest more to how awesome of a company it is. That I'm such a proponent, a believer of what they're doing in this space, which is first and foremost the marketplace that they put out. They put out a really user intuitive marketplace, an ability to search different collections and stuff like that. Pretty rival to like Gaia. Really, really next level. And then the stuff they're doing in development, Biarte, they used to call him the cadence whisperer. So he was the one that knew more about cadence than anybody in the space. So I drew really close to him and was just really, really infatuated with his mind. So watching them kind of create over the last year plus has been just so fun, and I'm in a lot of those high level discussions of what next, and yeah, I mean they're jack of all trades. They're working on a launch pad that kind of will help NFT projects get started by offering certain support and certain services, and that's kind of where I come into play with them. And so yeah, I mean that's in a nutshell. Dot Find is more or less just a focal point of the industry, of the economy, or of the ecosystem, to just kind of make tools to make things easier. Gosh, now I know what it's like to be long-winded in my end, man.
No, I think that was a great answer. And that's funny. I didn't even realize that. So, um, it's, that's cool that you believe in them so much that you're tethered to them in that way, though. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
why I
cool.
dropped the bomb on you. I was like, not to like, not in a bad way. I genuinely, I was joking with Christian this morning, well, his nighttime, my morning, when I had a chat with them this morning about just coming on to talk a little bit about them too, and just like saying, he's like, well, what better person to represent than you? And just joking. And I said, I love that that's the tether, like you said, is that I am absolutely proud that when people think of me, they think of Dot Fine, and hopefully vice versa. Because again, attaching myself to not only individuals that are about the progression of the space, but a brand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like everything that Dot Find has been doing. I know the Find Fest was absolutely massive. I mean, that AMA that they had us over there for was, I mean, one of the bigger
Yeah,
ones we've been a part of in general. We were pretty
that
blown
was a
away by
cool one.
that, to say the least. And I think that it was such a cool experience for us, and we actually saw a nice little bump in our community off that. So we're really excited when just to extend an invitation back for anybody to come talk about Dot Find again.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and that's the cool part is like that Dot Fine Fest was the culmination of a lot of efforts, and the main effort was, or the main like goal was to bring together the community and to have some fun, but at the same time, like let's learn together, right? And so that's what like we really felt like people weren't just there for the giveaways or for the games; they were there just to hang and to enjoy each other's company, but at the same time having projects like you come on, who's not normally in their view, having them come on is like so awesome, to like say, hey, this is this new project, you guys should look into it. So that makes me so happy to hear that you had an uptick in your community because of that, because that was the goal, genuinely.
Yeah, and I think that one thing that we've noticed too is that since we listed on Flow, the Flow ecosystem and the people who are within the Flow ecosystem are really juiced about anything on the Flow ecosystem. And one of the big reasons that we went with Flow is because it's so easy to onboard into the ecosystem, right? And so we've been really proud to be part of all this, and it's pretty incredible how many of our holders are actually holders of a myriad of the other projects on Flow as well. I mean, that's, we were kind of hoping that we'd be able to nudge in with some of the Top Shot community, but obviously they're the biggest one. But, seeing some of the other members from the other Flow communities come in has been really encouraging for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool minds in here. I really do. I brag about that. It wasn't that it was just a small ecosystem for me. It was that, they really were. I rave about being a revolutionary, but I'm not talking necessarily pitchforks and torches yet.
Yeah.
But just the mindset of just going against the grain, the mindset of pardon my French, but just fucking shit up. Like I love that about this ecosystem is there's a lot of people in here that are movers and shakers, and that's where you guys can attest the best innovation comes, the ingenuity, like all that comes from that kind of stuff. So I was encouraged by this ecosystem a ton.
Well, I mean, just to step back a bit, how did you come into crypto in general? I mean, have you been in the space, in the Web3 space for a long time? Have you been into NFTs in general for a long time? What's your little kind of origin story?
Yeah, so I have the worst one. I have the one that everybody has, where woulda, shoulda, coulda, did not. So I don't know if I'm going to ruin someone's day because they're going to not know this existed and then go to it and be really upset. There's a website called, it's something like If I Would Have Invested.
Yeah.
And you can actually, yeah. So you can actually go to that website and type in the year that you thought you were going to invest in, like Bitcoin, let's say. And funny enough, mine was 2009. So it doesn't even go back that far. So that should tell you some of my story.
Yep.
And then I was going to be a miner. I was actually going to mine with my roommate. But the whole reason I had about $1,400, and I put in the calculator for 2012, and it was like, I don't know, 200 million. No big deal. I could buy a decent amount of wine with that. But no, I like the idea of decentralized currency. And this is all, I'm dating myself, and I was like 20 years old, something like that. I was actually 18, 19 years old. And I was like, really interested in decentralization and the idea that, you could have a currency away from the central banking system. And so the only reason I didn't invest is because I thought the government could just shut it down. I thought like there was like a button that they could hit to be like, nah. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of a broke college kid. $1,200, $1,400 is a lot of money. So, ever since then, I like really paid attention to crypto a lot. I invested a little bit along the years, but more so like, and from other spaces, I'll tend to get philosophical, but like, it was more so from like a revolutionary standpoint than it was a monetization profit standpoint. And call me naive, and that's probably why, I'm not one of these rich crypto people, is like, I cared less about profiting from it and more about promoting it to succeed, if that makes sense. Like I just, the decentralization, the concept that we were so close with the internet, but then the internet became centralized, like as a revolutionary in my heart, like that's why I got involved. And I'd say like heavily involved about 2014, 15, understanding the blockchain concepts. And then I didn't really start collecting till like 2019, 20. Really had like random stuff in my MetaMask, and then Top Shot came, and that's when I was like, oh wow, this is going mainstream. And then again, when I saw the Top Shot stuff, everybody really focused on the money, where I was more so focusing on like the utility of what they could do with this. And that's kind of what got my mind moving about creating and allowing artists to create in this space. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I do think that's a very similar story to a lot of people that I talk to. But it's woulda, coulda, shoulda, like you said. You know what I mean? It's you can't look back and go, oh, I should have done that. Who knows all the catalysts that happened would have happened. Well, where do you see the Flow ecosystem going in 2023? I mean, we saw some crazy news today that, who knows what the fallout for that's going to be, but it doesn't seem to me like it's really going to affect overall what's happening here on Flow. I think Flow is kind of departed a little bit personally from the other major cryptos, because it's just like it's a vibe over here. You know what I mean? Like it's a different vibe. But what do you see? Like, what's your little forecast for 2023 in the Flow ecosystem?
Yeah, obviously this is full financial advice, what I'm giving. No, I'm just kidding. No, I agree. I genuinely agree with you there. I think that I actually just had this talk with Christian today with .find I have always seen the Flow ecosystem as separate than the token. Like, and I mean that like crypto in general. I see NFTs and the concepts of the blockchain as related, but not the same, right? So I think that like decentralized currency and decentralized creation, or like intellectual property, are two vastly different things. So when the cryptocurrency goes down, that's decentralized currency. Currency is going to go up or down. That's just how it's always worked in life. Is the valuation of currency has a million different variables to it, right? But the valuation of art and creativity is always invaluable, right? And that's why I'm like, in this, bearish market, it's like, I understand that hurts the sentiment of like some people's pockets, and they're like, oh, they that overall feeling of depression because you don't see that in your account. It doesn't change me, and that's all I can really speak on. Is like it doesn't even. I'm not even bullshitting you guys. It doesn't even affect me the slightest when it comes to creation. I had 6 hours of meetings today alone, and about 8 yesterday, and every single one of them have to do with creating cool products for the Flow ecosystem. And so, like, mind you, again, not my full-time job. I have a full-time job. So, being in 6 hours meetings a day, and then someone going, oh, did you check your crypto wallet? I'm like, dude, I haven't had time. I've been creating. So I genuinely, and no bullshit, like I genuinely feel like the reason I'm in this atmosphere and this ecosystem is for the cool stuff that's going to be built, the cool tools, the cool utilities, the decentralization of fun and creativity. And that's really what I'm here for. So I'll be damned if like a token is going to affect that for me.
Well, what do you come with some alpha for us today about .find? What's happening? What's next for .find? Do you have anything for us?
As an unofficial spokesperson, what would I be if I didn't bring a little alpha?
We need the juice.
We've been talking about the innovation center for a while, and basically, an innovation center, in very layman's terms, is going to be a place where an average Joe or Jane can go up and say, "Hey, I have this idea." Again, in layman's terms, don't quote me on the specifics. They're going to be a lot prettier. I promise. I'm not good at the specifics, but the basics is there's going to be tiers, right? It's such a good idea. You have everything marked out. Your pitch is so incredible that .find is not only going to launch your project, but they'll fund it for you. At the second tier, like, it's a great idea. Maybe you don't need funding, or maybe you don't want funding, or .find has too much out already in projects that they can't fund. You'll get that second tier where we'll develop for X amount of price. And then the third one, which is just a friendly little pat on the back that says, get back to us when you're a little more ready. And so the innovation station is going to come a lot with, or the innovation center is going to come a lot with, like, support, right? Because when people make these new NFT projects, you can have, I've always gone by this rule in sales, you could have the most beautiful diamond in the world, but if you don't polish that beautiful thing, they're going to look at it like the rock it is, and it ain't going to be worth nothing. So that's the whole concept, is that the innovation center will polish that rock for you, help you out with proven tactics that help community utility, forward thinking, business, all that stuff, and allow for a better shot at a successful project.
I love that. I mean, that's some serious alpha right there. I mean, that's you really came with it. I didn't know if you were going to have anything for me there, but that was a nice surprise.
Oh, come on.
That's great.
Unofficial spokesperson. Yeah, no, they've been working on it for a while. They're hoping, right now they're shooting for the beginning of the year, January Q1, looking in that early part of Q1, to have that open. I mean, again, you're talking about some of the best developers on Flow, best business people, best community leaders, and they're going to help you out, get you started, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Again, it's just opening the space for more creators to have the ability to create.
That's amazing, because I know there's a lot of people out there who really want to be able to create, but they just don't know, maybe they know how to take the first step, but they're not really knowledgeable about how to take it a little bit farther. So I think having things like that really help grow, the communities and the ecosystem. With our last 5 or 6 minutes here, I'd love to, sorry, my son is going crazy, but I'd love to open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions for Jimbo, go ahead and raise your hand or throw them in the chat here. Yeah,
I see a lot of unfamiliar faces. I do see some familiar faces as well. I see JT's down there. E Sweezy, I see E Sweezy all the time. So I see some new names. If you don't know me, I have fun. We have fun. I'm an ambassador to fun. So genuinely, I have a party favors Discord. I'll link it in the not in the wine chat, sorry, in the Gen chat. I'm gonna link the if you guys want to come into the Discord. It's not a very active Discord, shockingly enough, only when I throw the parties. So we kind of quiet down. Sometimes we'll do a pop-up party. Sometimes we won't. But again, all the concept, the same thing. You guys went to .find Fest. Same concept is that every month we're doing a party. We host live DJs, virtual worlds. All these other projects will donate NFTs. We have a prize pool. And you can just come. It's free to come. But again, if you buy one of the party favors, you get VIP access, which is access to all the major giveaways up to $200-300 in each individual. So in short, that's what I do. I'm just a party extraordinaire. I just have fun. And again, we learn a little bit about projects. The last just plug for myself is that I'm helping host a seminar / panel for green technology and green energy following COP27. So if you're familiar with kind of the thing they host in Egypt for sustainability and kind of making sure the planet is around so we can enjoy our NFTs, we're hosting that on the 17th. I'll have details coming out about that soon. So it's something I'd like you guys to join, Cody, just to say hi and learn something, because I'm very, not to be funny, I'm green in the green energy, just still learning. So that's, again, just, I'm kind of an organizer, a revolutionary. So that's what .find has given me the opportunity to. So shout out to Christian Biarte, Bam, the rest of the .find team. And shout out to projects like you guys, because again, there's if it wasn't for so many creatives in this space doing cool stuff, I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So shout out to you.
Well, I know you're out in paradise in Maui, right? Is that where you said you were? I mean, you're
Yes,
Hawaii,
correct. Yes,
Hawaii-ish. I don't want
yeah.
to. I didn't mean to dox you there.
Yeah, I don't want to.
But
No, and that's the funny part. I've been doxxed a bunch. I don't mind at all. I have bragged very openly about we won a state championship with our basketball team. So, there's plenty of ways to find out who I am. I ain't afraid. Come get me. I'm on an island in the middle of the ocean.
Well, if you ever make it out to Napa, you'll have to let us know, and we'll take you out and give you the Cuvée Collective experience while you're out here, bro.
Without a doubt. It's actually on my list. When I did the AMA with you guys at Fine Fest, my girlfriend accidentally saw that I was working with you guys, and she said, interesting. This is the first NFT I'm interested in.
We love to hear that. That's awesome. Jimbo, thank you so much for joining us. I'd love to have you stick around. I know you're on vacay, but if you want to stick around, we're gonna start moving into like the Wine Wednesday portion of our.
I'll definitely be in the audience. I'm actually, shockingly enough, my life is a vacation. I've lived here for 6 years, but I am on vacation always, just for the record, mentally. But I'm headed to my basketball practice to coach these youngins. But I'm gonna stay connected until I get there. So I appreciate you guys again having me on. I love what you're doing. There's so much going on in this space. It's so fun to get reeled back in to be like, I totally forgot about Cuvée Collective. So now I'm back in the loop. So thank you too for bringing me in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks so much.